Just a quick one. I don't think there's any sound going out on the stream. Oh, I can hear me.
No, the problem. Here we go. Perhaps this has worked now. There we go. Maybe. There we go. That works now. I hope. Yeah, the problem was that I had my microphone muted.
Okay, well, can hear you now, I think.
Yeah, my microphone muted. That's maybe not helpful, but as I said, there we go. The intro song, I should say, was Glint by Fellowship, an incredible band that is going to be making their, I hope releasing their album in the first quarter of next year, repping their merch as well at the moment. I promise I am not a shell, but at the moment I've got three incredible people joining me. I have Skipper, and I have Metalman GG, and I have one of the newest members of the staff team joining us. I've got Migsy as well.
Hello.
Indeed. Fantastic. Thank you. But yes, as I said, as I just quickly get the chat up, that is the button that I want. Fantastic. But yes, as I said, yes, one of the newest members of the staff team. So, Migsy, I'm sure you're known with some of the members here in Unity, but just introduce yourself a little bit as well.
Yeah, sure. I'll keep it quick. So I think, most people probably recognise the name. I've been around in most people's streams for quite a long time. I've been streaming for about a year and a half, Rocksmith, and most lately doing some drum streams, etc. But yeah, I've been a supporter on Shredfest since, I think, Shredfest 1 I just missed out before I discovered what it was. But since Shredfest 2 I've been a viewer. I've been in 2 of the main Shredfests and one of the most recent special event, which was awesome. And I'd always said to Dave and the guys if they needed help. And yeah, as of last Shredfest, they invited me to join the team. So for those that don't know and are wondering why suddenly there's loads of activity on the Twitter feed, that's one of my main things that I'm looking after at the moment, which is the official Twitter account. So I am going to plug, and I'm going to say, if you don't follow the Unity Unity Rocksmith Twitter account, get in there and get it followed. Obviously very, very much appreciated and helpful if you do see news about Shredfest, about Unity, special events, etc. Give it a little retweet, give it a like. Let's get that dropped in there. Sounds like a YouTube advert, doesn't it, really?
Yeah, it does, really.
Hit subscribe, hit that notification bell, whatever it is.
Yep.
But yeah, and the other one, I don't know if we want to announce it just yet.
Oh, what?
Oh, you might not even know about it yet.
That might be in the special chat that I'm not allowed in.
No, it's in the chat. You've seen it, but at the moment it's been working with mainly sort of Rubber Dave, Rocktism, and a few of the guys. So, and I suppose we'll kick it off now. One of the things that we are going to be launching are this Thursday, which is, I don't know what's the date on Thursday. Anybody hit me up? The 11th. Yeah. So Thursday, 11th of November. Obviously, we'll post out an official update, but we are going to be doing the first community streamer night. So not an original idea, but basically what we're doing is once we decide exactly how it's going to be going forward, we're looking at doing a regular spot live from the Unity Twitch channel. And on each episode there will be a streamer from the community. We'll do a little bit of an interview with them, learn a bit more about them, and we'll hand over for them to show us what they do. So we'll get about an hour and a half slot to show us their stream, etc. Live from Unity, and we're potentially looking at doing that on a weekly basis. So the first one this week is with our Lord and Saviour Rubber Dave.
Lord and Saviour, as always.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yep. It seemed like a good choice, and he was a willing guinea pig. So on this Thursday at 9 p.m. GMT, so 9 to 11, we'll be doing a little catch up and a one-to-one with Rubber Dave, and then he'll be doing a showcase set from the Unity page. So I thought I'd announce that now, and then we'll see how that goes. and determine when the slot's going to be available. So we will at some point be reaching out to people for volunteers. Bit like Shredfest, we'll ask for names of people that are willing to
As always.
stream from the Unity page, and then obviously we'll randomly select people. And yeah, I think it's a really, really good opportunity to get some traffic on the Unity page. Sort of build up, the Twitch channel, and really showcase some members of our community outside. I mean, Shredfest is great, but it's very fast. It's very quick. It's like boom, raid, play songs. It's all very manic. The energy is great. But I think this will give opportunities to learn a bit more about the streamers individually, and see what they're about. So yeah, more updates to follow on that one. But in the first instance, everybody, please look out for updates. It will come via Twitter and the Unity page. And yeah, Thursday at 9, we'll be having a one-to-one session with Rubber Dave.
Awesome. Hopefully he doesn't sleep during this one. Or at least no, sorry.
Resting his eyes.
Yeah, having an abnormally long blink as well. But yes, so that is going to be very fun. As you said, the first community night this Thursday at 9 p.m. UK time, 10 p.m. Central European, and I'm sure you can sort out your own time zone from there. But yes, Metalman GG, I should say rather, you are here as well, and well, the reason that we're here really is advertising that today, really, I suppose you could tomorrow, I'm not exactly sure when they close tomorrow, but today is the last day that you can guarantee your requests for the next Shredfest. Shredfest 8, this would be, I think. If I can count correct. 7, fantastic, thank you, I can't count. But yes, today is the last day you can guarantee your entries for Shredfest 7 to be counted in the big Excel sheet that Rubber Dave has. But Metalman GG, you're here helping us advertise this, and I suppose you could perhaps tell us a little bit about the bands that you've chosen.
Alright, so you guys can hear me alright, I hope. Alright, bands that I chose. This time around I decided to go with something a little bit different. Orbit Culture is my first choice because I am super into them right now, and because they're not that hard to play on Rocksmith, it's quite easy to sight read. I also play them quite a lot on my streams, so I decided to go with them for the first choice. My second choice is Lamb of God, which is also one of the bands that I really like. It's not that hard to play or to sight read, and they're just a lot of fun to play. And then for the third band, I had originally picked Trivium because I wanted something to challenge me. I want to get better. I'm always trying to get better at guitar, and I wanted something really hard to force me to practice a lot in the lead up to the next Shredfest. In the meantime, I've decided to remove Trivium and replace them with Ensiferum because this past week I've been doing like an Ensiferum Power Week type of thing. So on every stream I am doing 1 hour. Actually, on the first stream I did the first album, complete first album. 2 days ago we did Victory Songs, the entire album, and then tomorrow I will be doing a custom playlist that I built, kind of like my dream set list. And I'm going to be doing that to wrap up the Ensiferum week. And I've been having so much fun, and the people who are hanging out with me in my stream, they're really enjoying it as well. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna replace Trivium with Ensiferum, and yeah, I did that change yesterday. So yeah.
Sounds like from that intro that Ensiferum should be first.
Should be first.
Of course,
yeah,
first choice.
I actually consider that, given how much I've been playing them recently. But the thing is, for the past 2 Shredfests that I've applied for, I always regretted not getting Orbit Culture. So this time around, I am having Orbit Culture as my first choice, and that way I don't have that. Damn it! I should have played them. I don't have that again.
Ensiferum is a great choice. They are also incredible live as well.
Yeah, I actually, this whole Ensiferum thing, I'm sorry for cutting you off. Like,
No,
I was
it's fine.
going through my box of memorabilia from concerts, like set lists, drumsticks, guitar picks, and I found like 3 or 4 Insiferum set lists, and I'm like, damn, I really missed seeing them live. So let's do an Insiferum week and see how that goes. That's how the whole thing kind of started.
And of course, this is just one step closer to my plan of having just an entire Shredfest of power metal as well. Just one step closer with Ensiferum.
You know, at some point, maybe it'll be an idea to have like a power metal Shredfest or a tech death Shredfest, and then just do something with that, like having theme festivals. For those who are really into thrash metal, they will probably have like a whole day of thrash metal just to enjoy.
I was going to say, when you say doing a theme of tech death, can we stretch 3 streamers out to a full day?
You will probably only have three streamers to go through that, yeah, for sure.
Because I think obviously on the last one we had, particularly Alexander. Oh my God, the man's a beast when it comes to that stuff. But yeah, I think it's a short list when it comes to.
By the Door and Relaxander.
Yeah.
They might have stamina to do very long sets, but those 2 a full day, that will be tough even for them.
Yes, welcome to TechFest. By the way, it's Relaxander for 6 hours, and then in the door for 6 hours.
Or you can just turn on dynamic difficulty and just play like 1 note at a time.
Just go directly up from 10% all the way to 100% difficulty, just 10 times each time. It's fine.
Yeah.
That should be 6 hours. If you wanted an hour set, just stretch it out to 6. That would be fine. But yes, Scriver, you are here as well. So how about telling us who you have professionally chosen as well?
I did a very big chance at the end of last Shredfest. I got the brilliant idea that I want to perform the Cramps. So I went on to Custom Forge and I found out that there was exactly 0 tracks by them on Custom Forge.
Oh no.
I have stuck by the idea, and I have learned Editor on Fire and started to chart songs. And at the moment I have 38 minutes effective music, so I'm getting very close to a full set list of the Cramps. In case somebody else gets the Cramps with a full set list, I have Status Quo and Wasp as backups.
Status Quo is a very good. I've also seen Status Quo live as well. They were pretty good. And what is it that my parents tell me? I believe the quote is, "With your receding hairline, you look like you might be Francis Rossi in 5 years."
Oh,
I believe is the quote from my parents. Yes.
Nice. Well, yeah, I'm not going to mention what year I may have seen Status Quo live in, because yeah, I already get enough stick for being the old bastard on most streams. Never mind.
But yeah, sorry, go on.
Well, I haven't had the pleasure of seeing any of those bands live, and for Wasp, I think there's still a slim chance of getting it, but the Cramps and Status Quo, they are both out of the picture for any more live shows, unfortunately.
And Migsy, what about yourself? Have you? Well, I don't know if you've applied for this one.
I did, but like a lot of people, I'm probably thinking, unlikely. But I've applied anyway, and I think that's probably a call out to anybody that's thinking that, like, I've been in it recently or I've been in it before. Just for clarity, obviously today, I think they actually close tomorrow.
Yeah, they do
officially.
I'm not sure when though. That's to be determined.
Exactly. So let's say today's your last chance, and if you do think that you've been in it before and you've not got a chance of getting in, so there's no point applying, bollocks. Just get the application in, pick your bands, put it in. You never know what might happen. At least then you've got your bands picked, and I think it's probably a really good opportunity to talk about some of the confusion around reserve as well. It's probably quite useful, because a lot of people say, how can I apply? Can I just apply for reserve, etc.? Now, Sleep, you could probably correct me if I'm wrong, but with reserve, you don't actually need to apply for reserve. All you need to do is make sure that you've got the reserve role, so you can give yourself the reserve role within the Unity Discord page. I'm assuming anybody listening to this is going to be on the Discord.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to the festivals, it basically means that there will be a reach out in the reserve channel for anybody that's available at short notice. Or sometimes we've had a few where it's been a couple of days.
Yeah,
But often it's very short notice. So if you do want to be reserved, you don't need to apply. Just give yourself the role, and that means that whenever there's a reserve needed, they'll ping the channel and reach out for anybody that's needed. So I thought it was a really good chance to clear that up, because we always get confusion every Shredfest. Loads of messages saying, "Oh, how do I apply for reserve?" You don't need to. Just keep an eye on the channel. Keep an eye on what's happening in Shredfest. But yeah, I mean, I've applied, and all that waffling is me trying to remember what my third band was. But I can tell you that because the third one's always a bit of an anathema for me, and it's not actually anathema because there's not enough charts. Great band, but Machine Head, because they always ended up being one of my later choices, my just in case, because I love playing them. They've always been one of my favourite bands. I've seen them live, well, I don't know how many times, but I'm losing count of the anniversary gigs for Burn My Eyes I've been to now. Since I actually bought the album on release, in what, somebody can correct me, I think 93. I think it was, because people forget that Machine Head's main album came out so long ago. But yeah, and then choice number 2 is again another band that's always lower on my list of choices, Fear Factory, because again they're so much fun to play. And third band, I really can't remember who the third one was.
Incredible.
Exactly, yeah, they're amazing, whoever they are. I'm sure they're fantastic. But yeah, my main thing with picking is that I like to try and pick bands where I can do bass or rhythm guitar. So I can kind of, I think the last Shredfest I was in, I did Ice 9, which was a lot of fun, and it was great to be able to do quite a big chunk of it on bass, and then for the last couple of songs, then switch to guitar, for a bit of fun. So there you go. That's my choices. What about you? More importantly.
Yes, and something else what you said about being a reserve. Make sure that when the timetable, when the schedule is released, if you're a reserve, make sure that the set that you've got is not one of the bands that is already on the list. Very well. Good shout. Yeah, that's also pretty important to remember. But no doubt, if you've got 3 choices, hopefully you'll also have 3 sets at least roughly planned out as well. So if you are called for a reserve at emergency notice, you at least have an idea of what you want to play. Yes, my first one, because I like dressing up and it's in the wardrobe over there. My first one is Turasas. Some
nice, like it.
Battle metal. Hopefully we'll be joining Shredfest. My second one, a little bit different. Some mellow death in terms of Avatar for my second one. And then my third one, prog in terms of Aerion. So 3 pretty different genres of metal, at least for my 3 bands.
Yeah, solid choices. I think I must admit I don't know Aerion too much. But definitely, obviously, with the first 2, plenty for you to get stuck into and having fun. And bring in the energy.
Of course! What else do I do? Apart from bringing energy. But yes, I think I've got at least some things in the wardrobe over there that could work with Turasas. In terms of Avatar, no. I've got a shirt coming that will do for Avatar. I can't be bothered doing the proper makeup of Johannes. The lead singer.
Shocking.
I know, but I need to buy white paint and red paint as well, and I can't be bothered doing that. It's it's like 2 entire new things coming from Amazon. I can't be bothered.
Yeah, no, I love it. No, I'm just liking the opposition to those 2 statements of like, of course, bring the energy. Can't be asked.
As always.
Yeah.
But yes, as I said, Shredfest 7 coming up. And the way that the scheduling works is still a mystery to everyone except Dave. In general, if you are a newcomer, if this is your first Shredfest, or indeed your first Shredfest in a while, you're more likely to be assigned a slot than someone who played last time out, like myself, or like Mixie as well, or like Skipper, or at least you, Mailman, as well. I think we all played last time out.
I was in 5. I think Metal Man, you were in 6, weren't you? I think.
Yeah, I was in 5. I couldn't attend because I hurt my back, and then I did 6. So now we'll see if I'm in or not.
I did both 5 and 6, so I have the bad score for Dave's
for Dave's mystery spreadsheet. Yeah.
But again, like we were saying though, because the way it works, you never know. It depends on how many applications we've had and how many people are returning, etc. Because I think as well, we're now going to Shredfest 7, which is crazy. Let's be honest, it's still going strong with and with the smaller events as well. Obviously, there was Pride, we had Uncharted. I think they're the only 2 special events we've had so far.
They are, yes.
Yeah. So it's really good opportunity to sort of push those smaller events. I think there will be more coming in between the main Shredfest. But I think as well, it's building up now that, I wouldn't know officially, but I think the numbers of brand new people coming in, obviously there's a limit to how many actually brand new people to the community that there are. So I think most people within the community have now done at least 1, if not a lot of people have done 2. Some have done 3. I'm not sure who holds the record, but I think it's no more than 3.
Redvarg.
Yeah, I was going to say Redvarg. Yeah.
Because of being very eager on that reserve role, I think he has been in all Shredfest since 3 or something like that. So.
Oh right, okay, wow, okay. But yeah, like we were saying, because the nature of the fact is built up now, and again, that important point is don't dismiss applying. Even if you think, oh well, I'll never get in, make sure you get it in, because really, I think the algorithm that Dave has in place is getting stretched now, because so many people have participated.
I think that Redvarg has applied. I think I saw messages about that in the Discord. So if you sat out the last Shredfest and you're still thinking, you might actually be able to steal that spot.
Yeah,
his spot in particular, yes, his one.
But yeah, and as well, I suppose it's safe to say, grab the link from the Discord, chuck in 3 of your favourite bands that you love playing, and click submit. It doesn't cost anything to apply, etc. And worst case is the only other tip I would say to people, and we have seen it quite a few times, is I know everybody wants to increase their chances to get in, but when you fill out your application with the times, the only thing I would say is just be sort of realistic with what you can do, rather than click every single box and then decide later. Because obviously it just helps Dave, it helps the staff when they're reviewing and putting the schedule together. Because there have been a few instances, and apologies if it sounds a little bit negative, but there have been a few instances in the Discord where somebody's been given a slot and they've gone, oh, I can't do it. But obviously, it's all based on the submissions and the time you select. So I would say to anybody, make sure that you have put down the slots that you can not necessarily commit to, because I think there's a bit of flexibility, but it does make it quite complicated when the slots are determined and then people are like, can I swap with this? Can I swap with this? And there's loads of swaps going around. Obviously, we've got Stadgy who does a great job with the website, updating that so people can see the schedule, etc. So it just makes it a bit smoother, a bit easier. When you select your times, pick the times you can realistically do, and then take it from there.
And when it comes to Stadgy as well, he's done an incredible job that the times shown on the website are automatically adjusted to your time zone as well, which is always helpful as well, because in general for Shredfest we're from midnight GMT on the Friday to midnight GMT on the Sunday. I think that's 72 hours. Fantastic. Roughly. So that is the times that we have, but if you go on the website, everything is adjusted to your time zone automatically, so it makes it a little bit easier to decipher when you're applying for slots as well. But yes, as you said, make sure that you, if you sign up for a time, make sure that you do it. For example, I normally sign up for Fridays, but I'm not this year, mainly because I've got a meeting at work on the Friday, which is horrific, but needs must. But yes, which means I'm just only signing up for the Saturday and Sunday, which means if you've got work on the day that you're trying to sign up for, maybe not do that.
When the sign up opened, I hadn't yet started in the job that I just got. So because of that, I started my first slot at I think 8 p.m. 8 on Friday night, because I don't know when or at that time I didn't know when I would be able to get out of work on Friday. So
there we go. But yeah, so that is another very important thing. And as Mixie said about swapping, Static does an incredible job with the website. And generally, because he does such an incredible job with the website, generally the less additional work we can give him, the better.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. But no, I mean, thinking about it, we talk about sort of Shredfest, and whenever the application process is open, it's very often, get the applications in, then wait, etc. Well, actually, thinking about it, we sat here today on the 6th, so it is literally 1 month until Shredfest.
It is, so
it's not even that far off. I'm sure it's the first weekend, right?
Yeah, it is the first weekend of December. I can't remember exactly what days that is, but yes, it is the first weekend. The 3rd to the 5th? That sounds about right.
Yep. So literally, 4 weeks, not even actually technically a month. It's 4 weeks until Shredfest, so it's not a lot of time. So obviously applications close tomorrow. Then starts Dave's process. I don't know if it's long. I don't know if it's short. We don't know. It's a mystery. It's he keeps it. We kind of know what the hierarchy is, but exactly how he does it and spits it out. So we'll be fairly quick to finalise, and then obviously people will find out who's been included, what bands they've got, etc. So in real terms, it's not a massive amount of time, because one of the things I would say as well is to help grow, and this probably links into something else I want to say, is that we did on the special event one, we did the charity side. So obviously Flinchy's working to increase how much sort of exposure and what we're doing for the charities, etc. So I think obviously there's a wider plan happening for all of the Shredfest, where we will be pushing the charity side of it. So there's a few things being finalised of how we're going to do it at the moment, but it really is a focus on not just on a Shredfest, but between as well, sort of the community carrying on that fundraiser. Obviously it'll be set up through Tiltify, but it will be available and throughout as well. So it really is sort of taking, I think, Unity from the discussions we've been having to that kind of next level, where it isn't just Shredfest, forget. I think that's the kind of thing we've seen. There's a lot of hype around Shredfest and stuff like that, but it's making sure this is a huge community now. So a lot of the work I'm doing, putting in on Twitter to start getting some activity, traffic, etc. through Twitter. Again, trying to build up the Unity Twitch channel as well, getting more content on there. Really, all of that is working towards one, which is great, which is building up the community and giving this huge community of streamers. I mean, what are we on, like 400 streamers, something like that now, part of this community, which is huge. But also, it means the more we can do. The more people that know about Unity come and support Unity, more watchers, stuff like that, then the more opportunities there are to do bigger and better things for the charities that we're gonna support and choose to support. Which I think as well, just a call out for people, is that we'll probably be looking at putting out to the community as well to start seeing what charities we want to support and then mixing it up between the Shredfest, things like that. So that segue happened because all I was going to say to people is once you've got your band, pimp the crap out of Shredfest as well. It's only a few weeks away. Spam it on your socials, stuff like that. I think Mina will probably be. I don't want to say this in case she's listening, but will probably be there to support with the posters. I don't want to volunteer her too much, but she's done an absolutely amazing job on the last few fests, supporting on that one. But sort of get the posters, get those sharing. Again, like I said, particularly on the Twitter side. Sort of get retweeting. If you see people from the community that are sharing it, just retweet what they're doing as well. It's not a competition. Who gets the most views during Shredfest? But yeah, retweet the shit out of it, like everybody's posts, get everything shared, and because the more activity there is, not forgetting, of course, to add at Unity Rocksmith.
At
make
Unity
sure.
Rocksmith, indeed.
Absolutely. I see all of them. I've reshared quite a few posts recently from community members, etc. But yeah, basically, the more traffic that goes through, the more attention it gets, and the more people it's bringing in. And ultimately, yeah, like I said, it's great for the community, but it means we can do a hell of a lot more for the charities that we're going to support.
And speaking of hyping the Shredfest, I made merch for both the previous Shredfest, and of course, I'm wearing my Sepultura shirt today.
There you go.
Very good.
Beautiful. Fantastic. I should probably do something about my last poster as well and put that on something. Should probably do that at some point.
Yeah, what I did for the previous two Shredfest was that I dropped a poster or some special design for the Shredfest into my merch shop with expiry the week after Shredfest. So as soon as I'm selected, there will be a shirt in my my shop, and you will basically have from then until 1 week after Shredfest to buy it.
Ooh, creating that FOMO there.
Yeah. A limited edition shirt. Come buy it, please. There we go, a plug. Fantastic.
Oh.
Love.
Oh dear, never mind.
Oh,
But
that is terrible.
I know we're talking about Shredfest and stuff like that, but I was just going to mention that we were talking about live gigs and concerts and stuff like that. I was feeling slightly ropey today because a few of us yesterday had a little Discord hangout. Did anybody else catch Slipknot's set from Knotfest that they streamed live in the early hours this morning for me? Fair enough. But yeah, so we had a bit of a hangout last night. That was a really good thing to do. May have had a few too many of these, but we don't mention that.
Oh, we don't mention the thing that I've just shown. Fantastic.
We need to get sponsorship. The amount of times in the hangouts.
This is also true.
Exactly. Obviously, drink responsibly, guys. We've got to say that.
Just get something from Corpiclani about that one for Jägermeister, indeed.
Yeah, exactly. We need to get a sponsorship with Jägermeister, and not Monster, as some people suggested. But yeah, no, just if anybody did catch it or whatever, it was really good actually. Obviously, we've seen that during lockdown and stuff like that, quite a variety of different types of live stream. So on the one hand, theirs was a little bit strange. It was a lot of time of presenters and interview stuff like that. But when it came to the actual live broadcast of Slipknot's set last night, it was a fantastic job. And it's just one of those things, like with streaming, is particularly within the music category and musicians, bands. Obviously, what's happened with Rocksmith has been great during lockdown. I think as well, the ability now, and I hope it stays, especially when it's concerts that are in different countries, etc. You can't necessarily see. I think now being able to see live stream gigs really easily and relatively cheaply as well is absolutely fantastic. And I really hope that stays and that carries on through because, I can't go to Knotfest, because it's in LA, but the ability to buy a ticket and hang out with some friends and some beers, watching it online. Obviously, it's not the same, but it's just brilliant. So that's just my little thing about, just live music in general. I think that's probably one of the biggest things to come out of these whole last 2 years is just the accessibility and the amount of live performances that are out there on the internet. It's brilliant.
And what you said with at least streaming, if I remember correctly, I think during the first part of their North American tour, Herman Lee of Dragon Force had a stream backpack. That at least he did partly streaming of his of concerts from that. I do believe the same goes for Unleash the Archers for their next little part of their tour. I think they've got a stream backpack as well of some description, so they're going to be streaming some stuff on Twitch.
Yeah, true. Yeah, Matt Heafy inaugurated the streaming backpack, and I watched quite a few of those. And yeah, you're right, Grant. That's kind of evolved, and I think it was on the last leg of the US part of the tour they did last month. Because I watched quite a few of those. I actually managed to get it where it was taking sound from the desk. So the first few were just sort of obviously a broadcast, mic on the camera. But yeah, again, just artists doing that and being able to then just stream the live sets. But the thing I really loved as well is even when most of the time when you go to the live gigs, also like the before and after. So obviously like Trivium, they've been doing like the warm up, sort of vocal drum warm up stuff like that in the trailers, or is it backstage, etc. But then also, I don't know about anybody else, but I love the bit where he picks up the backpack. And then obviously they do the walk off stage straight after they finished, back to the dressing room, and you get that whole kind of debrief and that bit. I think that's really cool to see, and that's sort of adding something extra because you don't really, most of the time, unless you're really lucky, you don't get to kind of see that aspect of it. So it's really opening up and like an inside view into how live concerts work and stuff like that. It's really good.
Something that I do quite like about, not necessarily concerts, but this is more festivals, apparently, especially a couple of festivals that I go to. Just before bands come on stage, you can always hear the vocalist practicing, doing at least their last exercises, if you like, before going on stage. And who is it that I'm thinking of? Therion, in particular, the female almost opera vocalist of Therion. Just hearing her do her final practices before going on stage is absolutely incredible because you just stood there waiting at the fence at the very front, just waiting for the band to come on, waiting for maybe the intro song to come on, and suddenly you can just hear opera for no reason coming off right hand side of the stage. It's like, oh, fantastic! They're practicing.
I saw an opera singer doing some interview where she did like a vocal performance on the interview, and the people doing the interview, they were shocked about the energy in that voice. So I'm not surprised you were able to hear the opera voice
Yeah.
all the way out in the audience.
So like I had my earplugs in it as well at the same time. I could still hear it over everything, and there was no backing. There was no microphone. There's no backing song whatsoever. It's just the sheer power of the voice.
And most likely at the same time the drummer was hitting the wall with his drumsticks, and the guitar players were strumming chords. But of course, strumming chords on a unplugged electric guitar, you won't hear anything 5 feet away. So.
But who wants to play electric guitar? Ooh, bass is where it's at.
And randomly, speaking of which, not to pimp somebody else's channel while we're live, but UTA are in fact live doing a sound check, streamed live on Twitch, which
incredible.
I think is pretty cool. I love seeing stuff like that. I was just saying, it's about hearing somebody, sort of a classically trained singer, etc., doing those last minute warm ups and run throughs. Now, so personally, my preference is, especially when you see, like I think Matt Heafy does it, etc., is to non-singers' ears, the completely nonsensical vocal warm-ups, the silly noises and all that kind of stuff. I always find that really entertaining because you're just like, I don't know why they're doing this, but it sounds funny.
Yeah, I think, who else was it saw at a festival? I can't remember exactly who it was, but it almost sounded like someone was being murdered just off stage as well. Just kind of screaming and then coming on stage and doing it perfectly. It's fantastic, thank you. But it's always like hearing someone being murdered in the background.
Yeah.
And we've got Dave joining us now as well, actually, in chat. So perhaps he can tell us via chat the magic of his algorithm. It's like a game of number wang, but in real life.
Oh God, number wang! Yeah, I love it. Never make the mistake of trying to look up the rules of number wang, because there are many sites dedicated to this. And by saying never look it up, I'm actually saying go look it up. Reverse psychology going on there. But yeah, obviously we've got Dave in the chat, as we said earlier on. Dave, just in case you've forgotten, Thursday at 9 p.m. you will be live on the Unity Shredfest. That was a good opportunity just to remind him. He slept since.
He slept. I know when you get to that age, things start to fleet the memory a little bit.
Can I just ask you to calm that down, please? He's younger than me.
Oh no! But,
no, I'm just going to go crack myself to sleep. It's fine.
But something else where people who might be thinking about joining Shredfest for perhaps the first time is maybe about a little bit of how to prepare for a set as well. At least for me, what I do is that once I know what band I'm playing, maybe I will, as soon as I know, I'll maybe then write up, say, a pretty much final set list with all the songs that I want to play and everything that I know. And then what I do from there is then just play through the songs just in one block without any gaps between the songs to really see how much time of music that I have, and then proceed to fill that out with any, well, we'd say speeches. That's maybe not the right term, but with any banter with the audience, with anything that I want to say to the audience as well. And then eventually you might write that out, like I do sometimes. Well, I should say that my what I said from my last riff is actually still sellotapes behind my TV. I should probably take that down at some point. But it's sellotape up there, so you might want to write out what you want to say. You might have it committed to memory, and then once you do that, do at least 2 or 3 run-throughs of everything, complete with what you want to say, and just time it and make sure it's 55 minutes. Because really, 55 minutes is what you want, because every time generally the handover period is between 55 and 00. That's generally when we want everyone to raid everyone else. So 55 minutes should be able to fit everything that you want within it, and also give you time to raise the next person as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say on that one, looking back at the couple of set lists that I've done, generally speaking, a really easy way to do it is put a playlist in Spotify. Now, the issue with a playlist in Spotify is that obviously there's slightly more front and back on every Rocksmith chart, because there's normally a bit more of a tail out, and there's always standardly, as it should be in most charts, a 3-second quiet space at the beginning of most charts, which is standard for charting practices. We all know those charts when you load it and suddenly it's like, oh, the first note is there immediately. No,
yeah,
so you got to factor in there that as per charting standards, it's 3 seconds leading silence on most charts. So there will be a bit of variance, but for a quick and easy way to do it, just grab Spotify. And I do it for determining the set as well. I just build a Spotify playlist of all the songs I think I'd like to play, or all the charts that I've got of songs I like playing, and then start whittling them down. You know what I mean? Till you get to, with no particular order, just start chunking them down of like choosing which ones you want to play, till you get to, I would say, if you're using the Spotify route, around 47 minutes. I know it sounds like, but it's an hour set. Well, it's not really an hour set, because you're going to want to get the raid in. You're going to want to say hello, Shredfest, blah blah blah. You're going to have potentially tuning, unless you're really lucky and you're doing bands that only play in a single tuning, which there are a lot. But if you're doing instrument swap, stuff like that. But standard, I would say 47. to 50 at a push, because then obviously you've got the gaps in between, and loading the songs. Remember, so whereas your playlist can run continuously, you've got to have time to then obviously load the song in, get through the tune and all that kind of crap as well. And then the beauty of that is you can then reorder it in Spotify, and there's your playlist. And then if all else fails, you can just mute your Rocksmith sound, just play your Spotify playlist and pretend, right?
Of course. And this is
But
all.
yeah, that's the process I tend to go through as well. Just like I said, there are apps where you can start putting in timings, and it'll give you a neat list. But yeah, do it in Spotify. Aim for about anywhere between 45 and 50 minutes worth of music. Put it this way: when I did Ice 9, I actually had to drop a song, and my Spotify timing was 48 minutes, and I had to drop a song. Just through nature of, because I had one instrument swap and a couple of retunings, and that was enough to blow out a song. So just a heads up.
For retunings as well, I can also recommend this. Something that pretty much everyone needs to have, the Digitech Dropbox. Is always helpful for retunings, especially, for example, what have I got? For Turasas at least, I've got my 5-string, and you've got some songs in E standard, but then you've got others in D. Can't bother tuning all 4 strings? Just get one of these instead, drop it down 2 steps. Wonderful. That's, a minute saved by just not having to retune everything from E standard down to D standard again.
Or if you can't be bothered touching your drop pedal, the whammy DT, and those wizards at RS Mods that have made auto tuning a thing. If you've once you've experienced it, I don't think I could go back to having to reach for the little box, because you literally tell it. I mean, the great thing I love about that as well is that if you've got guitars in different tunings, you just tell RS Mods, like, so if I pick my Les Paul, which is strung for D standard, you just tell it that the current guitar you're using is tuned to D standard. And then it'll up and down tune depending on the song, so you can pretty much use your chosen guitar for any song. Brilliant bit of kit.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That does sound pretty good as well. And something else I would also recommend that, well, if you've got multiple guitars as well, trying again to make sure that if you're swapping between a guitar string the set, also make sure that your second guitar is already strung to the second tuning, for example. Just again, saving valuable time. For example, I've got a drop guitar as well as a standard guitar, so it's like fantastic. Drop D, just get the other guitar out. Perfect. Just swap over, no extra tuning needed. Done. That's an extra. Well, in terms of tuning, an extra minute saved there as well. So sorry, go on.
For my first set, I had one song in drop tuning, so. I have one standard tuned guitar and one drop tuned guitar, but on that set I broke one string, so I had to tune my drop guitar to standard and then tune it back to drop.
Oh no!
But that's like one of those really bad things that can mess up your set. For my previous set, I had everything in standard tuning, though I had to retune between E standard to E flat. But of course, the Dropbox does that job very easily.
Yeah, something else that I find quite painful is that for obviously, because I don't have monitors, when I'm playing with the Dropbox, I just play via ear with the sound coming out of the TV, which means that obviously I still hear everything coming out the strings in E standard. But for example, the song might be in D standard or E flat standard as well. So it's like everything has a semitone difference from what I'm hearing out of the guitar and what I'm hearing out of the TV screen, and that is painful sometimes. So I think a set of monitors might be my next purchase, at least for my setup.
But yeah, I know exactly what you mean about The times I've when I'm not streaming and using headphones, when I put the monitors on, you just forget, especially when having a 7 string and always being bothered when you're just having a quick play to swap to it, and they go, oh yeah, we'll just put the drop down to 7.5 steps, and then when you can actually hear the strings of a guitar in E standard, but obviously the drop pedal's tuning it to that's a head. I was going to say a naughty word then. Messes with your head slightly, doesn't it? When you can hear the natural, like, oh, this is disgusting.
What do you mean you about to say naughty word? Have you heard yourself over the past hour or so? You've said plenty of them, Mixie.
Me? Never. With my reputation. Behave.
But no, it's fine, at least for me with the Dropbox. It's usually fine because I used to lead a youth orchestra for people who had just begun playing various instruments. So I'm already used to cacophonies and things being horrifically out of tune. So luckily that doesn't affect me that much. But sometimes, it'd be nice to actually hear things that might be slightly in tune. That might be too much of an ask, but sometimes it's nice to hear things that are in tune.
Yeah. Well, I always find it funny when somebody else comes in the room when you're playing headphones or when streaming or whatever, and just playing a song, and ignoring the times when it's being butchered and that you expect that face, but when the missus comes in and she's hearing it and she can hear the string noise but not what I'm playing,
Yeah.
and the face is like, what is that noise? Because it's completely out of tune. And I had to explain to her what the drop pedal does. She was like, oh, I get it now. But yeah, when she came in, she was like, you're streaming this? This is what it sounds like?
Yeah, something else. I'm pretty sure I might have to still think about this, but at least for Avatar, one of the songs has got hilarious tuning. I've got to quickly find out what it is. I think I've got it somewhere on somewhere saved. If I remember correctly, I think the tuning is A C E G. So it's a third, and then a fourth standard. It's like, why is this a thing? So what have I got
That's
to do?
some crazy transcribed one though, because obviously when you do see some of the charts where
Yeah.
I think I can't remember what the song was, but there was one where it had been transcribed from a 8 or 9 string guitar down to obviously a 6, and sometimes it works, sometimes no.
No,
Yeah,
sometimes no.
it's a real craziness, and I think the same for bass as well. I think there's a few charts out there for like where when I've done charts, if it is a 5 or a 6 string, then I've done it as the bonus path. And some people always said, sort of transcribe it, but I just think it doesn't always work sometimes. And we know we've on bass, you come across those charts where you can see it was a 5 or a 6 string, particularly the 6 string ones where it can be retranscribed, but sometimes it's better not to.
No. Just add 5 to everything on the top string. Done. Just put in rhythm, add 5 to everything. Done. That's transcribed to a 5-string guitar easily. But no, I know exactly what you mean with sometimes. What is it? Yeah, exactly. A few Dream Theater songs, at least on Customs Forge, are written for 6-string bass. So instead of transcribing it to anything, they've just omitted the rhythm part completely, and the rhythm is the 6-string bass. It's like fantastic. I will play rhythm, but I don't have the 6-string bass. Just add 5 to everything. It's fine. That should fix it. It's fine. Oh, I've run out of frets. Why has this happened?
But yeah, I don't know how long you want to go on. I just noticed it's 10 o'clock already. Time flies when you're having fun, etc. So do we want to? I don't know about you, Sleepy, but do we want to think about a little wrap up and whatnot, and then find somebody? Although I would say find a community member to raid, but then I could say why are they live while the podcast is live? Naughty.
I know.
I'm only kidding.
Something traitors. Something.
Ooh, steady on. But yeah, I think main bits, aren't they? Are Shredfest is in 4 weeks. Woo! Hype.
Yeah, I can't believe.
Yes, skipping. I'm just trying to go on. Hype it up.
Flinchy is getting on.
There we go.
There we go.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, go on.
Flinch is getting on with me, asking me to stream regularly.
What?
I
What's
know.
a regular stream? Behave.
I know. I have no idea what a regular. The last time I streamed was Shredfest 6. I should probably fix that at some point.
What's
Just
the
to...
schedule?
Yeah, what is the schedule?
I thought you'd been live since then, but never mind. Yeah, no. What's this accusation of pro streamer? I don't understand what this means. But yeah, what were we saying? So the bits we were talking about at the beginning, if people missed those, obviously Shredfest is in 4 weeks. Applications close tomorrow. If you don't think you'll get in, just apply anyway. You never know what might happen. Pick your bands, get them in with the times that you think you can play. And applications will be closing tomorrow.
At some point of Dave's choosing.
Absolutely, probably at some point in the evening.
It might be.
But...
so when he wakes up. No, can't say that.
All the burns tonight, isn't it? Really, I think Dave needs some Vaseline for that one.
Where's the aloe vera? Thank you. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. And then in between, get those in, and then at some point over the next week or so, I would imagine the announcements will come out, and then it's just about getting those sets nailed down, getting practicing, and get promoting as well. You know, let's bring people into the community, bring the viewers in, hype the shit out of it, and I think it's going to be a good one. Really looking forward to it.
And something. Oh yeah, do you have control of Instagram as well?
Not Insta. Do we have an Insta?
Fine. Yeah, there is. There is an Instagram.
Oh, okay.
I follow it, and I think it's maybe had about 8 posts.
Right. Okay.
But there is an Instagram as well.
Fair enough. But yeah, well, you actually reminded me. Well done for the segue. Said it at the top of the hour. But for everybody, make sure you like, retweet, follow the Unity Twitter page, because there'll be a lot more going on there in terms of community updates. Obviously, if we follow, I think I'm following. Now managed to pick up a few that weren't being followed, but most community members, if you're on Twitter, and there's interesting things going on, then there'll also be news from the community as well. Start retweeting some things on there, special events, stuff like that, so we can help let the community know if you're doing something interesting, either whether it's charity, good cause, special events, things like that. So.
And speaking of special events, if you've got an idea for a special event that perhaps us staff and events members haven't thought of it yet, just message it to one of us staff or events members, and if you've got an idea for a special event, and surely we'll be able to pass it on to everyone else and then vote on it. Well, I say vote on it; it probably will be used at some point, but
yeah, exactly.
and you will get and you will get no royalties for it. But that's
exactly, yeah. You might get a thank you and a bag of chips off of Dave. Most, but no, I think there is a at events tag within Unity, I think, isn't there? Yeah, that's it. So if you just do at events team on the Discord, then obviously that'll go to the special events team, which I think is yourself, Lynchy. Can't remember who else in the events team.
Tekken.
That's it, and Heater as well, yeah.
And Heater as well.
Metalhead's in there as well, and obviously those guys will have a look at those ideas, because I think that's one of the things that's being spoken about at the moment with the success of the Pride Shredfest, and then obviously Unplugged, two events that went really, really well. I think everybody's really keen to start having more different and special events in between the main Shredfests.
Yeah, always good to have some ideas running around of what might be used. But yes, as Mixie said, at events or message one of the events team as well, and we'll be able to pass that on to at least some of the chats that we have.
I'm just looking in chat, and ignore Flinchy's invites to slide into his DMs.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that either. I did that once.
That's a dark road.
I did that once, and it was a grave mistake.
Oh, fantastic!
I did that once, and oh no, I'm now on the events team.
Oh, shocking behaviour.
I know.
Oh, we forgot. We said who's in the events team who couldn't make it today to be introduced as the newest, also new member of the staff team. Jetstream Jack.
Jetstream Jack
Worth a mention is also now part of the events team. Yeah.
Yeah, part of the events team. He had to go to London apparently. How selfish.
I know, disgusting behaviour.
How selfish for not being able to be on this podcast, maliciously going to London. Yes, he is the newest member of the events team as well. Perhaps we'll be able to get him on the next podcast. We'll see. But yes, as well, if you are thinking of joining for the first time and you get chosen for the first time as well, I may be sending out a message in a couple of weeks asking for new people to join newbies Vodcast. Millman and Skipper, and I know you've both been on that, so no doubt be one of those before the next Shredfest as well, but I won't be able to host it because I'm not here. I'll leave that to some... I've said it will happen, but then not do it. So, well done, Flinchy. That is your job.
And I suppose the one thing, just to reiterate again, is, and I'll plug it again, speaking of hosting, Thursday, 9 p.m. UK time, the first Unity Community Night. I will just mention it again for anybody that's joined since we talked about it at the beginning. But yeah, so really looking forward and excited to that. Got a few new things to unveil in terms of the channel itself. And yes, that'll be the first one. And I'll just need to remind Dave a little bit closer to the time, I'm sure, because he'll have forgotten by then. Dave gets a lot of stick, doesn't he? Let's be honest. I'm sure. I think he enjoys his attention. Let's be honest. Anyway, do we want to find somebody to raid, or we got any sort of last comments from Metal Man or Skipper? Anything you guys want to finish off by saying?
The only thing I would like to add is I haven't been playing the guitar for all that long. 16 months now. I started with the pandemic and being locked at home. And for a long time I thought, Shredfest is awesome, but I will never be good enough to participate. That was not the case. Like I signed up, I had a lot of fun. If you're on the fence because you think you're not good enough, just do it. It's not about the percentage you get at the end of each song. It's about connecting with the viewers, connecting with other streamers, and just having a good time. Like, we haven't had any concerts or festivals here in Europe in forever now, so you can be a part of something really good. So if you're on the fence because you think, oh, I only started a year ago, I'm not comfortable. If you're streaming, you're good enough, basically.
Yeah, I 100% echo on that one. Well, last Shredfest was, for me, picking up a guitar and playing it live on a Shredfest. I will never describe myself as a guitar player. I like guitars and I want to be able to play stuff. So, doing that was it was a lot of fun. But again, Unity is exactly that. It's about having fun, putting on a show, entertaining people, etc. It's not about who gets 95, 98, 100% on. It's I was about to say something really bad then about another community. I'm not going to, but it's not about FCing everything. Let's be honest. There is a place for that. But it's not within Unity. There's no stress to be a perfect guitarist and do amazing. Just have fun, do your thing, and share the music that you love. That's the main thing about it, and that's what Unity's about. Yeah. Good shout out.
Yeah, with what you say about New One, sorry, go on.
If you're afraid of making a fool of yourself, the biggest fool of yourself you're making by not taking part. All the other mistakes have already been done,
including headbutting light fittings.
Breaking lamps, playing chess.
Playing chess, as always. Yeah. Yes.
So there is no more mistakes to be made. Everything has been done. The biggest fool of yourself is not taking part.
And with what Melman said about joining, I think I began guitar. I'm pretty sure I could find exactly the receipt from when when I bought the first guitar over there that I still use for cannibalizing parts. But I think I started playing guitar in November, and I was in Shredfest 4 in the March. So yeah, just 4 months. It's fine. And surprisingly, it didn't go wrong. But no, as what Mailman said, it doesn't matter how new you are. If you like to play guitar, if you've got an hour worth of material, you might as well put your name in for joining.
100%, yeah. But yeah, and one last time, applications close tomorrow. Get them in, get it done.
But yes, applications.
Okay, cool.
Yes, applications close tomorrow at some point of Dave's choosing, and then it shall go into the big spreadsheet of joy that nobody knows how how it works.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
Okay,
yes,
cool. Shall we find a victim? Raid target.
yeah. Why not both? They don't have to be the same thing. It's who's live then? Oh yeah, that's a good point. Flinchy is saying that one of the special events should be Dave Fest. Should it actually do that?
Oh, what you mean? Everybody cosplay as Dave?
Everybody cosplays Dave. Yep, and everybody does a What does he? It's an Iron Maiden tribute that he plays with.
I think it's a mixed bag, isn't it? So
Is it a mixed bag?
yeah. But yeah, so I was just having a quick look down the list. Who have we got live from a community perspective? We've got Scarlett, we've got Major Makoto, we've got Nooney, doing some bass. We've got Poison Jam in there as well.
Oh, what's this?
Tekken,
Bass. Bass.
Oh, Tekken's live, but he's doing an N64 night.
Gaming? What is this? We don't do gaming. We only play music here.
Yeah. We've got a couple of suggestions for Nooney in the chat as well. She's playing bass and she's there on one viewer at the moment, so obviously it's not my choice. I do not have the power. I do not have the power.
You get to see the background now.
Oh no.
I know.
Hide the prawn.
Hide the problem. Oh no. Let me just quickly move to another screen because I think I need to re-log in. Let's move to that. I don't want you to see my passwords or anything. There we go. It's fine. We are still here. I think that's the password.
Pro stream.
Oh, damn. They want me to... Oh, where's the authenticator token? My God. Trust me, this is a pro stream. Oh, the damn authenticator token's reloaded.
Oh, this is content right here.
It's gone horrifically wrong. There we go. Fantastic. Stream manager. Are we there? Yes, we are. Fantastic. In OBS, no, I don't use OBS because I don't understand how that works. But yes, I really don't like ABS and OBS. Anyway, let's see if I can spell this correctly. Nooney Deloney. There we go. We shall go and do some raiding. But yes, from if I find the correct one, there we go. From myself, from Migsy, from Metalman, and from Skipper. Thank you all for joining us this evening. There's going to be another Vodcast at some point. Make sure you're part of the Discord as well, and be part of the Vodcast fans role as well. You'll be notified each time we go live.
I checked before the Vodcast. There's only 7 people that have got the Vodcast fan role. So get in there, assign that role, or I'm going to assign it to everybody.
Yeah, it was always the power that I had when I was doing when I was launching these before. It's like, are you sure you want to at over 600 people? It's always, are you sure you want to do this? As I think Mixie's internet has just died halfway through because that's a wonderful free screen. Oh, there we go. He's maybe back a little bit. We'll see. But there we go. He's back now. But no, it's always wonderful when it's like, are you sure you want to at 600 plus people? Yes, please. I want chaos. Yeah. Thank you.
Absolutely. So yeah, add yourself the Vodcast fan role, or it'll get added for you.
but anyway, that is it from all of us. We shall do some rating, but thank you very much for watching, and we will see you next time here on the Vodcast.
Cheers, everyone. See you later.
Bye, everyone.